me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! No doubt about it. I gotta get another hat.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Well, our heroes are now in Pottsylvania, a country where everybody's a spy and everything's a secret. And what's more, last time when our boys opened the door to their room, they found it in a dreadful condition. Bullwinkle instantly made a brilliant deduction.
Somebody's been in here. I know, 'cause when we went out, this blotter was facing the other way.
At that moment, in the underground headquarters of the International Spy Ring, Boris Badenov was speaking to his superior officer.
Well, there they are, fearless leader. All of Moose and Squirrel's money and papers.
And what do you think they'll do now, Badenov?
They'll start for home.
And how do we get secret rocket fuel formula from Moose if he goes home?
You mean...
Yes, in the words of our decadent American enemies, you goofed. I'll have to report this to Mr. Big.
Mr. Big? Oh, no, not that. I beg of you, fearless leader. Take back my medals, my bad conduct ribbon, my iron double cross, even my membership card in Arsenics Anonymous. But don't report me to Mr. Big.
Well, I guess I'm just soft, sentimental fool, Badenov. But you get one small chance.
Anything, fearless leader.
See that Moose and Squirrel find mooseberries.
Check.
Make rocket fuel.
Check.
Give it to us.
Check.
And see they don't get back alive.
Double checked.
But Boris had reckoned without the strong purpose of our boys, who just weren't about to quit.
No, 'cause we're steadfast.
And ever faithful.
And true blue.
And besides, we didn't think of it.
What we need is a guide, Bullwinkle. Somebody who knows all about mountain climbing.
Mountain climbing? Why for that, Rock?
Look here, Bullwinkle. Mooseberries grow only on the highest peak in the Himalaya Mountains. Why don't you take a peek? 32,000 feet high. Pretty high, huh?
If it was any higher, I'd have to stand on a chair just to think about it.
Let's look in the phone book under guide.
But our heroes had a surprise coming to them, for it seems that every spy in Pottsylvania had an unlisted number. And since there was nobody but spies, all the pages were completely blank.
Boy, I'm sure getting tired of playing I Got a Secret.
Maybe there's an ad in the paper, Bullwinkle.
Nobody ever said a truer word, for so secretive was the Pottsylvania press that there was no news at all. Just advertisements. And what ads?
No caper complete without D's and Do's sleeping potions.
Assassinations cheap, satisfaction guaranteed, or your body back.
Latest in Pottsylvanian evening wear, casual wear, and beach wear.
Looks like masks are coming back this year.
But there's no ads for guides, not even for sightseeing trips.
Nope, in Pottsylvania, nobody shows nobody nothing.
I wonder where we're ever going to get a mountain climbing guide.
Yodeldly-doddly, hodly-ho! Allow me to introduce myself, Sir Hilary Push-em-off at your service. Come down, princess.
Who's that?
That is famous Indian guide, Princess Bubbling Spring that runs in the meadow.
Call me Bubbles.
You're sure you're good guides?
Double cross my heart and hope you die.
Dandy!
So our heroes have hired their worst enemies as guides. Be sure to see our next episode, Danger Ahead, or watch out for Falling Rockies.
And now it's time for...
Time for the dancing fool, Bullwinkle!
Again? And now for one of our special fairy tales.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, there was a miller's daughter named Gladys who would spin straw all day long and sit up nights thinking of how she would like to be famous. Night after night, she would think of all the things she wanted to be. But as for figuring out a way to be them, Gladys was at a loss.
Oh, to be famous.
Just then, a strange little man appeared before her.
Little lady, I can make you famous overnight.
Who are you?
I am what is known as a PR man.
PR man?
Public relations, my dear. Public relations. It is my business to glamorize the unglamorous. In my hands, the pedestrian becomes splendorous, the prosaic resplendent. What do you do, baby?
Oh, I spin straw.
That's it. You spin straw.
So?
Don't interrupt. It's coming.
What?
The idea, the spark. I got it. You spin straw into gold.
Yeah, but I can't spin
Doesn't
straw.
matter. I'll do the thinking. Now I'll just contact the trades.
But wait.
Just leave it to me, please.
And so it happened that overnight Gladys did become famous. Of course, nobody had ever seen the gold, but through the PR man's magic, and since it had appeared in all the papers, the people believed it. All of them. Everyone. Even the king.
Gold out of straw? Bring that girl here!
And so Gladys appeared before the king.
I understand you spin.
Not only do I spin, but I am the best spinner in your entire kingdom. I am so good.
That you spin straw into gold, right? Well, I'm going to put you into a room full of my very best straw and have you spin me a room full of your very best gold.
But-
Of course, if you can't, you'll be locked forever in my darkest dungeon.
Oh.
Not so fast, king boy. Release that girl. My client is not giving gold away, you know. However, she will spin for you one room full of gold on one condition. That if she does, she automatically becomes your wife and therefore the queen.
Well... give me the pen already. I'll sign.
Gladys signed too. And the king left her to her task.
Well, now what?
Have I ever let you down, baby? Watch.
And true to his word, the little man spun a room full of gold.
Why, that's amazing.
I know. Now look, dear, our business ends right here. You are now rich and famous, so until your firstborn comes into the world, I bid you adieu.
My firstborn?
Just read the contract, my dear, the fine print right there.
So Gladys read the fine print, and there it said in black and white that her firstborn child must go to the little man. Well, about a year afterwards, a beautiful child was born to the king and queen.
Hello again. I have come for the child, according to the contract.
What the little man didn't know was that in reading the fine print, Gladys had found the loophole.
I have found the loophole.
Oh, no, not the loophole.
Yes, quote, if the party of the first part, that's me, within 3 days discovers the name of the party of the second part, that's you, the party of the first part shall keep the party of the third part, that's him.
But that may not be as easy as you think. Go ahead, lay a name on me.
So Gladys laid a name on him.
Tom,
It was the wrong one.
Harry, Alfred, Dick, Bill, Lowry, Sam,
She spent all that day thinking of all the names she could, but none of them were right.
Oscar,
No,
Edward, Roger, Leon, Charlie, Theodore,
And the second day went as did the first, and as it ended,
Louis.
like
Gladys was in despair.
Oh.
Just then there was a knock,
Come in.
and the door swung open to reveal a very round man dressed as a town crier.
Like, you don't know me, ma'am, but I've got to hip you to some news. Like the other day, I'm walking through this cool forest when, ma'am, what do I see but this little cat doing this Weirdsville routine? Like he's going...
Skoo-skoo-ba-doo, oobop she-bam. I am the Rumpelstiltskin man. The king's got his gold, the queen's got her fame, and their baby will have my Rumpelstiltskin name.
Now, isn't that just too coo-coo?
Yeah, coo-coo.
So the next day, when the little man appeared again, the queen said,
Skoo-skoo-ba-doo, oo-bop, she-bam. You are the Rumpelstiltskin man, right?
Right. Oh, man, I really goofed.
and so Gladys and the king lived happily ever after, and Rumpelstiltskin was never seen in the kingdom again. There were several reports concerning a young girl who could make diamonds out of turnips. But of course that was in another kingdom, and you can't believe everything you read in the papers.
Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Well, our heroes are really closing in on the mooseberry bush, for they've hired a famous mountain climber, Sir Hilary Push-Him-Off, and his friend, the Indian guide, Princess Bubbles, to guide them up the Grimalaya Mountains. Little do they know, however, that the guides are really those two spies, Boris and Natasha.
Please, you're giving away the plot.
Well, Sir Hilary, here's where we're going, high on the slopes of Why Don't You Take a Peak.
Want you take a peek?
I take it you know the name.
Know it. It is the most feared mountain in old Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but you're not scared, are you, Sir Hilary?
Of course not. Him always turn green this time of year.
If I could just have a breath fresh air.
Why, certainly.
And Boris left the room and quickly made his way to the underground headquarters of Central Control.
Something wrong, Bedinov?
You see where I'm supposed to go?
Why don't you take a peek? Lovely vacation spot.
Vacation spot.
If you're an iceberg.
But fearless leader.
Silence, Bedinov. Is only a little 20,000-foot mountain peak. You're not chicken, are you? Come. Remember Pennsylvania.
Well...
Remember who pays you salary.
Well...
Remember your sense of honor.
Let's go back to who pays the salary.
Besides, if you don't go, I got to report you to Mr. Big.
Mr. Big, you wouldn't. Yes, you would. All right, I'm going. Orly-hoo.
And a few hours later, Boris and Natasha were leading our friends up the slippery slopes of Why Don't You Take a Peek.
Orly-hoo.
Well, which way do we go now?
That way.
Well, we can't go in both directions.
Yeah, we're all roped together.
Great spirits say go that way.
You going to argue with me? This way.
You going to argue with Great Spirit? That way.
Maybe we could split the difference and go straight ahead.
I say this way.
I say that way.
Well, if you insist, that way.
Golly, they're sliding clear down the slope.
And we're all roped together.
Brace yourself, Bullwinkle.
Right, Rocky! I'd just like to see them budge me now. They'd have to uproot this great big tree!
And in just a few seconds, the entire party had slid to the bottom of a deep crevasse in the snow.
Where's Sir Hilary?
I don't know. Here's his hat.
Yeah, but where's he?
I'm under the hat, you idiot.
Well, peek-a-boo.
Hey, look there.
Oh, boy, snow!
No, Bullwinkle, up higher.
Well, I'll be a moose's uncle.
Yep, it's a mooseberry bush. Our search is at an end.
Oh, boy, and we made it in only one episode.
So after carefully uprooting the precious mooseberry bush, the party started off with the two spies well in the lead.
Now Pennsylvania can make secret rocket fuel.
If Moose and Squirrel do not take it to USA.
How can moose and squirrel take to USA if there is no moose and squirrel?
Oh, Boris, you are a sly boots. When does it happen?
No time like the present. Observe, Natasha. Secret weapon.
Weapon? That's only a piece of candy.
Watch. Hello down there! Anybody care for jawbreaker? Mighty yummy.
Sure, why not?
Okay, here it comes.
And Boris started the jawbreaker rolling down the snow-covered slope. And in just a little while, it picked up a covering of loose snow, then formed a snowball that grew until it was a tremendous ball the size of a house that hurtled down on our heroes. Don't fail to see our next episode, Avalanche is Better Than None, or Snow's Your Old Man.
And now, here for all you men of letters is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, mailmen! Today's dissertation is subtitled, How to Escape from Devil's Island and Get Away from It All. Supposing you were incarcerated on Devil's Island, and supposing further still you had served 10 years out of your 30-day sentence, you would want out. And this is how you would do it. First, you would put on your bathing suit, then walk out of your cell and go directly to the warden, who is standing on the edge of a high cliff.
Good morning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good morning to you, merciless jailkeeper. For my recreation period today, I am going to swim to the mainland. Having completely pulled the wool over his eyeballs, you make the leap, and you're on your way out. Fortunately, so is the tide. After returning to Devil's Island, they put you where they put all the incorrigibles, in the kitchen.
You going to peel potatoes till they're coming out of your ears?
This should give you an idea. Putting a potato in each ear, you jump into a sack and await shipment to a foreign port. Of course, there is always the danger they are having potato soup for dinner.
Whoever peeled these spuds did crummy job.
I'm doing the best I can. And that is how you escape from Devil's Island.
But Mr. Know-It-All, you didn't get out.
I most certainly did, by joining the baseball team.
And that's how you escaped.
Sure. 3 strikes and you're out.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
But...
See? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Wrong hat.
And now it's time to meet Mr. Peabody.
Hello, Peabody here. My companions are Wayback and Sherman. Wayback is a time machine. Sherman, a boy.
Where do we go today, Mr. Peabody?
Our destination, Sherman, is North Carolina.
And the time?
December 17th, 1903. A date synonymous with aeronautical history. For today, we meet the inventors of the first practical airplane, Wilbur and Orville Wright. Sherman and I were deposited on an antiquated airfield where we directed our attention to a large barn bearing the motto, "If you want it done, get it done right."
That must be their hangar, Mr. Peabody.
You hear me in there? Better let us sons have our airplane or else we'll shoot.
Wilbur's right. I'm going to count to 3, and if we don't get our airplane, we're going to fire. 1,
2, Orville.
oh yeah, 2. That number always throws me. 2. What comes next?
Try 9.
Pardon me, gentlemen, but can we be of assistance?
You sure can. What comes after 2?
I'll tell you, but first, what seems to be the trouble?
There's a critter inside what's got our airplane. I think 5 comes after 2, Orville.
But surely this can be settled peaceably.
How?
Call the sheriff.
No, we want to handle this ourselves. Besides, the sheriff's allergic to birds.
Birds?
Peering through a window, Sherman and I saw a startling sight. The Wright Brothers airplane and a large bird.
Know who she is?
Yes, but I'm ashamed to say it. Kitty Hawk?
Yep.
It had to be.
We had an airplane out there on the runway, and that there fool bird went and fell in love with it.
That was Orville's fault. I told him we better make an ugly plane, not a handsome one. Now, if you fellas will just stand back, we'll blast her.
But you can't shoot a poor harmless bird.
The boy's right. I'll think of something else.
Wilbur's first idea was to induce Kitty Hawk to leave the hangar.
This here's winter, ain't it?
Uh-huh.
And birds fly north in the summer, don't they?
Uh-huh.
Then we'll make believe like it's summer, and that fool bird'll leave.
Moments later, in 20-degree temperature, the brothers Wright cavorted about in swimsuits.
Oh, say, it is a hot summer day. Isn't it a hot summer day, Wilbur?
Yep, it's a very hot summer day, Orville. And I wish that you would dash some cool water on my poor hot head.
Anxious to please, Orville picked up a nearby bucket. As for Kitty Hawk, she was genuinely interested in the performance. But unfortunately, that bucket of water Orville threw at Wilbur turned to ice and...
Golly, Mr. Orville, if you'd only let Mr. Peabody help.
Yes, Sherman is absolutely right. Now, my plan...
Nope, I ain't licked yet. If we can't get that there bird to leave that there plane, then we'll get that there plane to leave that there bird.
It wasn't until Kitty Hawk fell asleep that Wilbur put his second plan into operation. Crawling inside the hangar, he attached a long rope to the airplane's wheels. That done, he and Orville pulled the plane out.
I told you I'd do it. I told you I'd beat that bird. That plane's gonna fly.
Without a propeller...
Oh, that Kitty Hawk, that doggone bird. I'm gonna blast her so full of buckshot.
Wilbur, I think your ideas is fine, but they don't work. I think it's time we listen to him.
And listen, they did. My plan was to appeal to the mother instinct in Kitty Hawk. We merely took a large egg-shaped rock, tucked some straw around it, and Kitty did the rest.
never saw a happier bird in my life, Mr. Peabody.
Of course, even though they had their plane, Wilbur and Orville still had their troubles.
You got it now, Wilbur. I'll say contact and you twirl that propeller on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2,
Try 17.
Gee, did they ever get off the ground?
Eventually, Sherman. In fact, they flew during the day and played poker at night.
And Kitty Hawk?
She sat right beside them, Sherman, begging for food while they played. Come to think of it, that's how the poker term came about.
What term?
Feed the kitty.
And now,
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
again,
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Ooh, don't know my own strength.
now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Well, our heroes had just a brief moment of triumph in their search for a mooseberry bush. For not only did Natasha, posing as a guide, take possession of the bush, but Boris rolled a piece of candy downhill toward them that rapidly grew into a snowball as big as a house.
Gee, we just asked Sir Hillary for a jawbreaker.
Well, we sure got one. That thing'd bust anybody's jaw.
Head for those trees, Bullwinkle. The snowball may break against them.
But as our heroes dashed for the trees, the gigantic snowball overtook them.
Hang on, Rocky!
Look at that, Natasha. A perfect strike.
Not quite, darling. There's 2 left.
Yes, remarkable as it seems, our friends were still intact, although just a little groggy.
Quick, get his license number, Rock!
Oh, you poor fellows. What a dreadful accident.
And not only that, we didn't even get the jawbreaker.
We have more important things to do, Bullwinkle. We gotta get that bush back to the USA.
So our friends started off through the snowfields of Wanchatecapeak. It soon became evident that their guide lacked a certain amount of confidence.
Well, which way now, Sir Hillary?
Well, let me consult my compass. Heads. We go this way.
You're sure now?
Of course, I know every rock in these mountains.
Did you know that one?
Of course. Hello, Cliff.
Hey, Rocky, look! Footprint!
Good. We'll just follow him back to... Hey, wait a minute.
What's up?
Those tracks look familiar, Bullwinkle. Hey, step into that footprint.
What do you know? Somebody takes the same size hoof as me.
Nobody's feet are that big but yours, Bullwinkle.
You mean?
Yep, those are our tracks. We're going in circles, Sir Hillary.
Circles? Impossible.
Then how come these moose prints?
Think fast, Sir Hillary.
I'm sorry to say, old chappie, those not moose prints.
They're not?
Yet, those are prints of fierce, wild, man-eating creature that roams Wanchatecapeak.
Fierce?
Wild?
You mean...
Yes, these are tracks of abominable snowmen.
The abominable snowman?
Boris, darling, you flipped.
Well, I had to say something.
But he's no such animal.
He's now, and if Moose and Squirrel don't get back, who is to blame?
Abominable snowman! Boris, darling, you've done it again.
Of course. Never underestimate the power of a schnook.
But though the wily Boris had convinced the boys that they weren't going in circles, he still had problems, for he led them onto a huge overhanging ledge of snow and ice.
Well, looks like a nice place to stop and have a lunch.
It doesn't look very safe to me.
Relax. Enjoy the echo. Hello?
Holy smoke, look at that.
Sure enough, the vibration of the echo had been enough to disturb the delicate balance of the snowy overhang, and it began to crack loose.
Don't move, Bullwinkle.
Unfortunately, Bullwinkle had just been ready to eat a hard-boiled egg.
Shh. Quiet, Bullwinkle.
I can't help it, Rock. There's pepper on this egg and...
Hold it.
There. I'm okay now.
But our heroes plummeted toward the valley floor 1,000 feet below. Don't miss our next episode, Below Zero Heroes, or I Only Have Ice for You.
Hello, poetry lovers. Today's poem is a story of crime in the big city. Tom the Piper's son. Tom the Piper's son stole a pig and away he... Ooh,
Police officer, what do you got in the bag?
it's a sort of a pig.
You got a permit to pack a pig?
Well, no, I...
Better come along with us.
You know it's a felony to pack a pig over a state line?
No,
Take napping.
but it's a pig in a poem.
What, a pig in a poke, huh?
A poem, pig in a poem.
Big poem.
Not so pig, just about...
You making fun of the way we talk?
No, but it's catching.
Name?
I'm Tom the Piper's son.
All right, Piper, son, what were you going to do with the pig?
Well, the poem says the pig was eat, but
Gonna eat it, huh?
no,
On a platter.
no,
Apple in its mouth like that.
certainly not.
All right, Piper, son, you can go, but don't leave town.
Thanks. Can I have my pig back?
No. Evidence.
Darn.
One more thing, Piper, son.
What's that?
You got an apple on you?